Here's Johnny your BlogMainTraining.com. I want to respond to a couple things. First, my workout today was 70-pound heavy bag on my shoulder, 250 step-ups on a 9-inch bench. Wanted to do it in 10 minutes. I did it in 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Haven't done it in a while. Wanted to try it. Now, the reason I use a 9-inch bench, and I've talked about this before, for the longest time I used a 15-inch bench. And there was reasons for that, and that was because I was competing for something against a world record holder, Patty Doyle, who used all his bench. His step-up tests were, his records on, for step-ups were on a 15-inch bench. So I would use a 15-inch bench. As I got older, I figured out I don't need to use a 15-inch bench. 9 inches is the standard height for a step in most cases. So it makes sense for me to use something that I'm going to be climbing up and down every day, okay, instead of something higher, where if you continually use something higher, you're probably, if you're walking up the steps, you're going to misstep and take a fucking fall, okay? It happens. If that's the way you're training your mind, you're more likely going to fucking trip. Going up the steps, you're either going to go a little higher or, whatever. So I'm going to use what I'm in my everyday life. I'm going to use a height that I use in my everyday life. My house, there's 9 inches. Where I work, 9-inch steps. Almost everywhere. If you're carrying furniture up and down the steps, you're going to want to be able to, you have your mind, your muscle memory, do a regular step instead of a high step. Okay, so that's why I used a 9-inch. Still not easy to do 250 step-ups with a 70-pound heavy bag on your shoulder, no rest, and get it done in 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Okay, this is the way I train outside. I train out in an environment where it's not the gym, where it's flat and it's safe in there, where there's no holes or anything. I do it outside because that's where I'm at most of the time. I'm in environments where I got to pay attention to where I step. I'm in environments where when I'm walking backwards or dragging things, I got to know where I'm at. So it's just part of who I am. People go to the gym, and I've talked about this before. They do the same old exercises in the gym, and what happens? They hurt themselves at home moving the living room couch. They hurt themselves lifting their kids. They hurt themselves just by the fucking a movement with no weight. Okay? For instance, look at the guys in like a Home Depot who have to wear those elastic belts. Fucking guys are always getting hurt all the time. Okay? These are not functional people. I have left the exercise world a long time ago just to exercise. Just to exercise for me is not happening. I need it to be functional. Yesterday I hit the bag, did some slam ball throws, did a lot of step climbing yesterday. So I'm going to do more of what's useful to me. I had a couple of comments on a couple of videos, and the agility video I was showing was after my workout. I did the bag work, I did slam ball work, I jumped some rope. So I was just doing that just to keep myself a little bit nimble. And of course somebody had a comment, why don't I use a weight vest? Well, I don't use a weight vest anymore because there's no reason to, because in my everyday life there's no place and no way I'm going to be using a weight vest to be doing any jumping, okay? And if anything, that's going to put more stress on my knees, which I'm trying to heal right now. So my knees are feeling good, so I'm going to continue to do the agility work that's going to strengthen my knees and everything else. And I'm probably never going to go back to jumping with weights, okay? However, I'll still use, a weight vest and a rucking vest to go climb hills and walk hills and just things like that. Hills on the road, go off-roading with it. I'll still wear weights that way, but it's not going to be running and it's not going to be jumping. Makes no sense to me. I do a lot of agility drills with my grandson, playing football, running backwards, side to sides, karaoke, zigzags, and I want to be able to function that way, okay? Jumping with an extra weight is not going to help me. So jumping back and forth on a little bench and everything keeps the fucking motors firing, keeps everything going right the way it is, because the moment you stop doing those things, you won't be able to do them. There's 20-year-olds out there right now that can't skip. I guarantee it. Okay? There's 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds that can't jump rope. Okay? So to say that, the things I do or just fucking anybody can do, well, go for it. Okay? I know better, but, Then I had another guy said, I got to start pumping iron because it looks like I'm getting sarcopenia. Well, the fact is, I'm losing weight because I want to lose a little bit of weight because my knees are feeling better. I don't want the extra weight. And I'm hoping that by taking a little bit of extra weight off and training a little bit differently, I'll be able to maintain knee health, which is important to me. So I'm able to still do the athletic movements I was able to do all my life until about 5 years ago when I hurt my knee and I was kind of unable to do those things. I'm getting to that point, so I'm not going to destroy my legs that way. But I guess kettlebell swinging is not weights. Resistance bands aren't weights. Trap bar carries with deadlifts or dumbbell carrying. I guess that's not training with, the iron. Pumping the iron is what he said. I'm like, so I guess I got to bench press or do some curls. Not interested, okay? Not interested in those things. However, what I will tell you is that if I am unable to do the things that I do on a daily basis, that's going to impact my life. If I go to the gym and I bench press, and that's all I can do, okay, and yet my lower body is absolutely useless, and I trip, or I have bad balance, or I have no agility to do the things that I love to do, that bench press ain't gonna fucking help me at all, okay? That just helps fucking people who can't do anything else. It's like the guys out there, and I don't take anything away from these older men that have deadlifted a ton of weight, but if you watch these guys, the way they move, they'll be the first to trip over the curb and fucking break a hip, okay? Even though they're strong as shit, their movement outside of the gym isn't too good, okay? Not a lot happens at the gym. I've tried to explain that many, many times. So I prefer to do what I want to do to keep my body healthy. Now, for instance, I do push-ups. I don't do push-ups like I used to do. I no longer rep them out. I do isometrics almost every day. Isometrics are something I do just in my job alone. The way I have to move things, create an isometric environment. Number two, when I do my push-ups, like for instance, I'll hold on my knuckles for 30 seconds in the up position. Then I'll lower myself down. My arms are 90 degrees and I'll hold that position for 30 seconds. Then I'll push back up and hold for another 30 seconds. Lower back down for another 30 seconds. Push back up. Now it's 2 minutes of fucking time under tension. No fucking rest. Most people couldn't do non-stop push-ups for 2 minutes, let alone my slow isometric style push-ups for 2 minutes. Just couldn't do it. So to say that I'm not doing any type of resistance training is actually retarded. And again, I'm always open for people to point me to their videos to help me learn from them. But I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing because I'm getting better for it. I feel better. And for me, feeling better and feeling more athletic is what my goal is. It's always been my goal, at least for the last 20-something years. So, hey man, take it for what it's worth, and later.